When CS2 first came out in late 2023, it was obvious that the game is an unfinished mess of spaghetti code. But now 3 years have passed and CS2 has massively improved, but a lot of people still say that CSGO is much better. So today we'll be pitting CS2 versus CSGO in 7 different categories, and whichever game wins 4 categories first takes the crown for being the better Counter-Strike. But first, we have to start with the Alexei B test.
I would recommend anyone who's watching this to download CSGO and just go shoot one bot at a server. It feels so crisp.
Okay, that was that was pretty crisp. Let's shoot like 1 or 2 more bots. Oh man. I mean, we haven't played online yet, and obviously it's gonna be different online with ping and whatnot. But yeah, this does already just feel really responsive. So it's hard to tell from the stream, but Alexei B was totally right. Somehow shooting bots on 0 ping in CSGO just feels much better than CS2. So I was a bit worried how noticeable the difference would be once we get on community servers. But before we conclude in which game rifling feels better, we first have to compare the graphics. Wait, do you hear that? Guys, there are 2 things I love in this world: monkeys and skins. Here's my Discord profile picture for the last 10 years, and here is my combo. But what if we combine them? We get Skinsmonkey, the best way to trade skins. You simply select any skin you want and find items in your inventory of equal value. I also managed to get a promo code for my viewers, so if you type Twist CS2 here, you'll get $5 free by trading over $100 in skins. And if you make a deposit, Skinsmonkey will give you a 35% deposit bonus using the same code. Personally, I think they have the fastest trading website on the market, and if you want to support my videos, plus literally get some free money, go click the link in the description and get your dream combo today. I think CS2 looks somewhat cleaner, like there's just not as much specs on the walls. So I do think both games are pretty similar in graphics. One is just a lot brighter and looks like Fortnite, the other was like kinda, you know, a gloomy real men shooter. Real men play this game. But at the same time, you have to consider that like I bought a new PC just to play CS2, because the PC I had was like okay for gaming. It was running like 200 FPS on CSGO, and when CS2 came out, it was like, you know, I had a 140 monitor back then, and it was getting like 130 frames average and sometimes dipping. Although the graphics are cleaner in CS2, I feel like getting a 30 to 40% performance drop just to have like upgraded, cleaner graphics is crazy. I'm really split on the graphics. I think it's really just preference, but because the FPS is much better in CSGO, I just have to go with CSGO. Next we have the skins, and as we know, that is the one thing Valve actually cares about. In my hands, I have a Butterfly Ruby. Before the crash in CSGO, this knife cost like $10,000. And it looks ass, okay? It looks like Crimson Web does in CS2, without the like webs. I think we're getting really treated in CS2 in terms of the skins, because obviously that's the biggest money maker for Valve. So that was like the one category where they actually put in a lot of work, and they were like, no, we gotta make this perfect for the gambling addicts, you know? How much they improved the Dopplers, you know, how much they improved stuff like fades. But look, although most knife and weapon finishes do look better, there are also some things that they've completely ruined. They've ruined the gold stickers completely in CS2, and that is actually a pretty big gripe I have. This looks beautiful. Succulent, you know, it's great, it pops, it just looks pristine. This looks like poop. This looks like dog shit. I would not pay $5 for this. Oh yeah, the print stream. I will say that the print stream was also better. In Overpass connector, the print stream just looked crazy. When you were in like a molly or close to a molly, I think as well, the print stream just popped so much. Oh yeah. Look at this, man. That was worth taking AD damage for. So yeah, I mean, there are skins that look better in CSGO. I think overall CS2 still clears. I'm gonna go for CS2 being better skins-wise. Now we finally get to the big boy categories: rifling and awping. And look, although after the bot test I had my suspicions that CSGO will feel better, nothing could have prepared me for just how smooth getting kills felt. Correct. Oh, okay, no, no. I know I'm playing against like casuals, man, but that just felt so crisp and clean. Oh man, that two-piece, that's it. I almost feel like I have to call it a day and already give CSGO the point for being better in terms of how rifling feels. Also, like, what the hell is damage prediction, you know? In CSGO, I've never, ever in my life had the situation where I shoot somebody in the head, they do the, you know, they do that, they fall to the ground, and then they just revive themselves and they stand up in CS2. And I've seen this in pro LANs where they play on 0 ping, where literally a pro player dinks another pro player with like a deagle close range. The other guy falls to the ground, and then he's the Undertaker. He just wakes up. And obviously, I think the big problem here is subtick. I think Valve were really trying to innovate, and it just didn't work out. And now they understand that subtick is shit, but I mean, it just takes so much time to actually fix it. Oh, it's so good! It's just yet another two-piece where in CS2, that shot never lands. I think on stream, you're just not gonna see the difference as much, but it feels like when I click the button shoot, the bullet actually leaves the AK at that exact time, you know? It's not like you have to wait a couple of milliseconds for the kill to load in or anything like that. It's just instant. You shoot and the headshot appears as soon... Man, you're pushing into... What the fuck are you doing? What is this? What is this, man? Oh my goodness.
Fatality.
Next we have awping, and it's no secret that in pro play, awpers on average have way less impact, but I also remember doing much better with the big green in CSGO. So let's see if that's just nostalgia. Oh no, it's better. It's so much better. Oh dude, it's so over. I think flicks just connect so much better. Like, if you have down crosshair placement, CS2 is gonna feel fine. I think the biggest difference really is when it comes to like you having to micro adjust like... This is back when you could actually somewhat consistently enter you with the op as well, you know? Like, this is back when you could no-scope with the op. This is back when you could do a lot of things. Was that did I hit that flick? Of course I hit that flick, because it's not CS2! I had an op with a crown foil as well. That thing was popping. That thing was... Man, how am I hitting everything? Yeah, it's pretty undeniable that the actual gunplay just feels so much better in CSGO. So if CSGO wins any of these last three categories, it takes the title for being the better game. But next we have features, and this is actually where CS2 should thrive. I feel like feature-wise, like CS2 has innovated, okay? And I know some things have been absolutely horrible innovation, like subtick, but there are a lot of features that in CSGO didn't exist and that are actually good inventions. Okay, let's just go through them. Alright, subtick is obviously better. CSGO is better. Subtick sucks a lot. Smokes are so much better in CS2. Audio rehaul, I'll honestly leave it at 50-50. Oh, and also, yeah, the mini-map radius. So that's so much better in CS2. Like, I actually use that a lot, you know, when I'm running somewhere and I'm like, I don't want them to hear me. I know exactly where to stop. MR12, I think that's preference as well. I would say that I prefer CS2. But I do get the arguments why people preferred CSGO, because the results were kind of more believable. CS2 is a lot more about momentum, which I personally like, but I'm going to leave it at 50-50. Buyback plus inventory, CS2 is much better. Animations, I kind of want to leave it at 50-50 because the kill confirm is worse in CSGO. And I think with Anim Graph 2, they've actually done a good job. Before, I would have chosen CSGO before Anim Graph 2. I think now it's 50-50. Factions is obviously better in CSGO. And then, you know, this is literally a feature that is cool, so we'll have to choose CS2. So overall, we have just 2 CSGOs, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I mean, that makes sense. Oh, yeah, man. There is... CS2 is so much better because I can quickly rotate to short, you know? Now, I know I missed a couple, like Follow Recoil, Demo Viewer, and VAC Live, but I would still say that from all the features added, most of them are good. So CS2 is making a comeback. Let's talk about how the game is actually played on the meta level. So let's go watch Blast Paris Major. Look at how he's holding the angle, okay? I think this is one of the biggest differences. Like, back then, you were just holding an angle so much more because Peeker's advantage wasn't as big. In CS2, you have to be constantly AD strafing when you're holding any angle. Like, the meta is whatever the fuck Donk is doing, right? And what Donk is doing, if you actually watch how he plays, he's just swinging. He's just swinging every single angle you could imagine. Full W keying. And a lot of people hate that. I think it's just a problem of adjusting. And I honestly think that having the game where you can't just stand still and you have to, like, have precise movement and precise aim on top of it, it's harder and it feels worse when you get destroyed holding an angle, but it also means the skill cap is higher because now you have to master movement in sync with aim in pretty much all gunfights. AD strafing and then flicking and tracing somebody is always going to be much harder than just standing still and, you know, tracing somebody. Also in CS2, because you can blow open the smokes, CD side is also nerfed a lot more. If you throw a smoke in CSGO, it was like, well, if your name is not Stewie2K, you're not pushing through that. In CS2, it's chill, man. Somebody smokes you off. It's almost good in some situations, because if the enemy isn't expecting the smoke to be blown open, you know, there's creative ways to play around. I think the meta is more fun. I think it's just better. Well, we're all tied up, and to decide our winner, I left the last category as the one that matters the most. Because what's the point of gaming if it's not fun? 90% of the content we got in CS2 has been skins related stuff. And you know, don't get me wrong, I love skins. I adore skins. But I feel like for a game, it shouldn't be like Skin Simulator, you know? They should add like fun stuff. Remember when for example, on, I think it was Halloween, in CSGO, you would get like this special knife, or when they added like Christmas hats to chickens. Stuff like that just shows that like the devs care. I'm getting kind of bored by playing Faceit. You can't really play Premier, because Premier is literally... You get rewarded for winning by getting a higher rank, which in return means that you get more cheaters. Like, Premier is literally, if you win, you get more cheaters. That is your reward, and that is the opposite of fun. You know, I was grinding Premier a lot 3 months ago, and I finally got a 25k red rating, and what I literally got rewarded with was just more and more cheaters. Like, there are so many more cheaters in 25k than there are in 20k. My trust factor didn't change, nothing changed. So what? You can play Faceit, like that is one of your only options. If you want to have fun in terms of like a competitive game where like winning is rewarded, right? So I think that's it, boys. I think CSGO still wins.